You can find more online by Dhammaruwan. Dhammaruwan is the little boy that was living in Sri Lanka when he started remembering this, past life and many hours of Pali chanting. So they got the recorder somewhere when he was like a young boy. I don't know how old, 3 years, 3 years old, 4 years old when he started talking, and they recorded many of these suttas. And I remember once in Chithurst actually that I found an old tape recorded, and it was specifically said this is recorded for Ajahn Anando as present. So maybe at that time some monks from Chithurst visited Sri Lanka, they went to see him, and he recorded it. One of those suttas is this Bojjhaṅga paritta. No, it's the sutta, the actual sutta, not the paritta, the Vichan, but the whole sutta. So then, if you look at the book that the Venerable Analayo just published recently, called Rebirth. Yeah, it's a book called Rebirth. He's analyzing his chanting and compares it with the Pali version that we now have in our Tipitaka, and there are some small differences. So based on that, comparing, what the boy was chanting and what we have now, he can trace it back and see, this must come from an earlier version that they had in Sri Lanka, maybe in the 5th century, around the time of Buddhaghosa. The boy said he remembers walking around Anuradhapura. He even told the archaeologist, no, you should look here, there will be a well, you should dig here, there will be some vihara, and they went there and they found it. So he lived at the time of Buddhaghosa.
Okay, so about the sutta, so this will be quite familiar because we did almost the same text in the other 2 suttas. This is the 3rd one in the row. And so this is where I thought we could listen to the chanting that Ajahn Gavesako found, which is the chanting by this Sri Lankan boy who remembered having memorized these chantings in past lives. Has to be.
With the Mahasatipatthana as well?
Yeah.
So we'll read from the beginning then. Dhammaruwan, can I ask you to read the first 2 sentences?
Yes, Ajahn. Ekan samayan bhagava nrajakahe viharati veluvane kalandakani vape tena kopana samayena bhagavat abadhiko hoti dukkito balhagilano.
So from the previous time, this should be quite familiar now, no? Ajahn Titapanya, would you like to try to give us a quick translation of these first 2 sentences?
At one time, the Blessed One was living in Rajagaha, the bamboo grove, squirrels feeding ground.
Very good.
By that, something like by that time, the Blessed One was ill, something like ill, suffering with painful feelings increasing. Something
right,
like that.
so abadiko is sick, being ill. Dukkito is being painful, suffering. And balagilano is gilana is the being sick, and bala is intense, like intense fever or intense sickness. Okay. So I think we analyzed these, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these now. Basically, I would like to spend time on the paritta rather than the text. the Atako Ayasama Mahachundo Yena Bhagava Terupasankami. So, and then the Venerable Mahachunda approached Tenupasankami, approached the Blessed One. So this is the third part in the series where it's the Blessed One who is sick and Venerable Chunda is going to visit him. Upasankamitava Bhagavantang Abhivaditava Ekamantang Nisidi. So having approached him,
Seated at one side.
he paid respect. So Abhivaditava, he paid respect to the Blessed One. And so Nisidi, correct, is sat down, Ekamantang at one side, to one side. So Ekamantang Nisindoko Ayasamantang Mahachundang Bhagava Etadavocha.
Having seated at one side, the Venerable, the Bhagava said to Venerable Mahachunda.
No, but he didn't sit down. So it's all in the accusative. Ekamantang Nisinang Ayasmantang Mahachundang. So it's all relating to Mahachunda. So the Bhagava is the subject. He's speaking to the Venerable Mahachunda, who is sitting at one side.
So okay, let's do this sentence then. So etadavocha is the verb. Like he said.
He said
correct?
This.
He said this. Who says it? The Blessed One. The Blessed One is speaking. So Bhagava etadavocha. And so he's saying to somebody, he's talking to Mahachundam.
It's actually 4 words. They are all the same. They are all kind of like adjectives, really. Ekamantang, Nisinang, Ayasmantang, Mahachunda. It all relates to Mahachunda, who is Ekamantang, to one side, sitting, Nisinang.
So these are to Mahachunda, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. They're all
So
relating.
So at one side sitting, right? Ekamantang Nisinang.
Yes.
Venerable Mahachunda, to the Venerable Mahachunda.
Who is venerable? Yeah, the Mahachunda, who is venerable and who is sitting at one end.
That's right. And the Blessed One tells him.
Right.
Blessed One tells him. Pati Batutang Chundang Chunda Bojjhangati. So Pati Batu, this is a new word compared to the previous ones. So if you look at the vocabulary on the PDF I put there for you, so it's Pati Bhati, where you might recognize the root from from Bhasati, for example, to speak. And so he invites Chunda, so Patibantu, the U is the, what do we call this? Asking somebody to, imperative, the imperative. So the U tells you this is an imperative verb. Please speak, or please recite. Patibantu tongue, recite it.
I think what it is sort of like made the Bojjhangas, made the factors of enlightenment occur to you. May they, that's why it's Patibhantu, it's a plural, rather than Patibhatu would be singular, but here it's Patibhantu. So may the Bojjhangas occur to you, may they appear in your mind. It's a kind of Pāli phrase. Patibhana basically means the ability to come up with some verse or statement or something.
Yes, I think just, recite would work for the translation, no?
Right. But to understand the grammatical form, you have to understand why it's in this strange way.
So the Bojjhaṅga, the Patibantu refers to the Bojjhaṅga.
Right, because they are plural.
So plural. May the Bojjhaṅga, may you recite the Bojjhaṅga and Chunda is being addressed.
Right.
So that's the vocative.
Yes.
Patipantu tongue, and tongue here is refers to the Bojjhaṅga, no?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's the it's basically a pronoun here. May those occur to you, the Bojjhaṅga. Right?
Yeah. Bojjhaṅga are in plural, so
In plural.
the factors of the one.
And so he starts reciting Sattime Bhante Bojjhaṅga. There are 7 of the Bojjhaṅgas. He recites the Bojjhaṅgas, and the Blessed One delights in the he's cheered up, he's energized by the recitation, just recognizing that these are the Bojjhaṅga. So the same phrase as we saw in the previous one is Tagga, is that these are, this is Tad, Tadga. So those indeed, Tad is same as here as tongue. These are always pronounced. So those indeed are the Bojjhaṅgas, Chunda. So he is energized by this recitation. And the end of the sutta is Idamavo Chayasama Chundo. That's right. So we have to break that to Idam Avocha Ayasama. Idam Avocha Ayasama Chundo. This said the Venerable Chunda. And so someone, Satta Ahosi. So someone, here is approving,
Yes.
pleased, consenting. So Ahosi is the past of Hoti.
He was pleased and agreed.
So the Blessed One, the Satta, the teacher. So Satta is literally the teacher. The teacher was Samadhino. In agreement or pleased. Vuttahi cha Bhagava Tamha Abada. So Vuttahi is arose. So this is the past of Vuttahati. And the Blessed One arose from that illness. This is the same conclusion as in the other suttas. Vuttahi arose from that illness. Okay? Does this ring a bell from last time?
From the illness.
From that illness, that's right.
So it's like what is it? A dative?
Ablative.
Ablative.
Ablative. So tata pahino cha bhagavato so abado ahosi. So thus abandoned the Blessed One that illness. The Blessed One abandoned that illness that way.
But it's the way the sentence is formulated is like the subject of the sentence is not the Blessed One but the illness. So abado.
So abado
is the subject. So
that illness.
That illness. Abado is masculine. So abado is that illness, and the illness is of the Blessed One. Bhagavato abado. Bhagavato means of the Blessed One. That illness of the Blessed One was tathapahino, was thus abandoned. Thus abandoned. So you have to know which word is it referring to. Tathapahino relates to abadho. The arrow has to, I think, point from abadho to tathapahino. Tatapahino abado. Yeah, that's it. Now you know why the endings have to be the same. Abado, tatapahino.
Right, because so this is nominative clause, right? That one thing is the same as the other, and so tatapahino abado, thus abandoned illness.
Illness and of the blessed one.
Of the blessed.
Bhagavato abado.
That's right.
The illness of the blessed one have been abandoned.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Good. Thank you, Ajahn. Congrats. Good translation.
Thus abandoned.
Thus abandoned.
Tatapahino. And
Okay.
ahosi means it was.
It has become or it was abandoned. That's right. Okay, so that was quick overview. Now let's do the paritta. So Bojjhaṅga sati sankhato dhammanam vichayotata. So what I wanted to mention is that the meter here is the sloka or shloka meter, and so it means that each line is eight syllables, so that so typically a verse would be 4 lines, and that each line they are trying to gain the syllables so that you get this 8 rhythm.
In the Thai way, we use that too. We call กลอน
Yeah, is in the Thai as well, yeah?
Yeah, กลอน
Yeah, when they
I call
Thai verses.
Yeah. So Ricardo, can I ask you to read the first verse, the first 2 lines?
Bojjhaṅga satisankato dhammanam vichayotata viriyam piti passadi bojjhaṅga chatatapare.
Okay, good.
You can read with closed eye. How can you do that?
But here is important now. You will see this only works if you pronounce the Pāli correctly, and if you pronounce the double consonants the way they should be. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So often the way we chant does not actually sound that well because it doesn't follow the. I guess to say that here you have to listen to the little boy chanting, and he does it really well. Like Bojjhaṅga sati sankhato Dhammanam vichayotata. It has this nice rhythm.
That's right. We just tend to roll with it.
Well, the Western style is it doesn't respect this the length. Like the double consonants often is not really double, and the long and short.
Okay, so let's begin to translate this. So again, you have to get used to this nominative clauses that it says so Bojjhaṅga is in Bojjhaṅgo, the 7 factors is in nominative. It says the Bojjhaṅgas, and then you have to find the other nominative, which will mean the Bojjhaṅgas is something, and so the Bojjhaṅgas are satisankhato.
But here
it's
in singular here because I think it starts listing them sort of one by one. That's why it says Bojjhaṅga satisankhato.
So the way this works is that so sankhata means that it's reckoned, so it's considered, and so satisankhato here is like a compressed phrase, meaning that you could translate this as the Bojjhaṅga reckoned as the mindfulness, etc. Right, so this is not how we would construct the English sentence, but it says Bojjhaṅga Sankato Sati, basically. So Sankato goes back and refers to the Sati. Right?
Did you analyze Bojjhaṅga actually as what it's made out of previously? Bojjhaṅga?
Bojjhaṅga.
Maybe people don't know
Anga is factor.
what it's made out of actually. Bojjhaṅga.
So Bojjhaṅga Bodhianga is the enlightenment wing or enlightenment factor. Like that's the wing. The wing is Ajahn Tanisaro's.
No, that's something else. That's the Bodhipakya Dhamma. That's something else. Bojjhaṅga is just factor of enlightenment.
That's like Anga. Well, you know, a
Something.
limb could be a wing.
Yeah, limb. No, literally, it is a limb. Yeah. It's like your arm.
An arm, a limb, like that. You know, parts. You know, imagine like parts of a wheel, for example, or you think of these Hindu statues where, you know, Shiva has all these arms and the goddesses have all these arms representing all kinds of faculties. Like those are all, you know, parts, limbs.
So Bodhi, because some people don't recognize the word Bodhi in Bojjhaṅga, it changes. When you connect Bodhi plus Anga, it becomes Bojjhaṅga.
And so we continue the list. So basically, we're reciting a list. So the Bojjhaṅga are reckoned as the mindfulness, and then so Dhammanang is, we solved it in the exercise. So this is genitive. Genitive. So the Vichayo is contemplation, like the contemplation of the Dhammas. The contemplation of the Dhammas. Tata means such or so on.
Yeah, that's such. But yeah, I think it's just like a filler word, so that.
That's right. So in these verses, often some of the words are just there to make the meter work. And so Tata here is a bit awkward, but you know, the Bojjhaṅgas and also the Dhamma, the contemplation of the Dhammas, or the contemplation of the Dhammas, and also the energy, rapture or happiness, delight, and tranquility.
Tranquility. And now it changes to, because there are three of them in one, then it says Bojjhaṅga, Chatata, Pare, they are the other Bojjhaṅgas.
That's right. So these Bojjhaṅga, so this is here is plural, and so these refers back to what we just. Well, you could actually just close the sentence here, no? After Passadi, and then these Bojjhaṅgas can refer to the continuing one, no?
I'm not sure.
Samadupeka Bojjhaṅga in the same.
Either that, or it might. I think Viryampiti Passati Bojjhaṅga Chatata Pare. I think that's the one sentence. Because.
Okay, we can construct it, you know? You can
think,
read it like that.
Because it says like these are the other. Pare means other. So like the three. It doesn't mention the word three, but I think these are the other three Bojjhaṅgas.
That's right. Para is from Parato. Other. So and the other, like and the other are the other Bojjhaṅgas, so energy, delight, or rapture, how would you like to translate PT?
Well,
rapture and tranquility, these are the other Bojjhaṅgas.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
And then
Samadupeka Bojjhaṅga, Sattiti Sapara. So Sama, we finished the list here. Right? Samadhi and Upeka. So that's why I thought this Bojjhaṅga could just continue the list here.
I see. It could refer to both. I think it could refer to both. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not like a typical normal sentence, you know. It's just sort of like words stuck one behind the other.
Yeah. Poetry. It's poetry.
Yeah, that's right.
So and Bojjhaṅga and the other Bojjhaṅgas, you know, samadhi, concentration, equanimity, and so again we're stating that these are also enlightened factors. So here this is you know, Pāli is very good language to make these compound words, and so the reason why they are written together is that in English you would have to make a big word like that, and the factors, concentration, right? This is how, like, you know, in English you don't do this, but in Pali they just put one word after another, and they, you know, make a bigger compound of it like that.
Actually, another language does it. That is German. In German,
Like German likes it, like,
you can do the same.
you know.
Norwegian do the same.
So it depends on what kind of grammatical tools your language uses to agglutinate words together. And so sattiti, recognize the word seven. Satta. 7, and 8 is these.
These 7.
So these 7. So for sattiti sabbadassina.
So these 7, and now the word is missing, you know, these 7, meaning these 7 enlightenment factors, but they don't repeat the word Bojjhaṅga there anymore because it's not necessary. So these 7 Bojjhaṅgas.
This is the Emacs is the only place where I can type the accent, so that's why I
Okay.
opened that. So dassina is for dassi, which is adjective for seeing. So sabba you recognize for all, you know, all seeing. Like these 7, the all seeing.
Maybe you can put an arrow. Sattete relates to samadakata. These 7 are well expounded, samadakata, and by whom?
That's right.
By the Sabbadasi and the Muni.
So they are sabbadakata. These are
well expounded.
It's
nominative akata.
Because they are plural, satta et.
That's right.
So the 7, these 7 Bojjhaṅgas in.
So the seven are well declared.
Well declared, yeah.
Right. Akata is
to declare.
Declared. And so the 7 are well declared by the seer.
Yeah, Sabbadasi Muni.
By the all-seeing sage.
Yeah. Sabbadasi Muni. Sabbadasi Munina.
Okay?
Yeah, so you have to always find the verb, like, yeah, exactly. So samma and akata. Akayati means to point out, to declare something. Samma, you know, correctly or well. But if you connect those two together, you have to put the D. So it becomes samma dakata. And it's plural because there are 7 of them. 7 of them are well declared by the Muni, but it's in instrumental, so Munina and Sabbadasina.
That's right, this is
the all-seeing one. Maybe you know the other word, Sabbanyu. The Buddha is called Sabbanyu, the one who knows all, the all-knowing. Sabbanyu, but here it's Sabbadasi, the one who sees everything.
Sabanyu, it's the all-knowing.
Sapa Anyu.
You see that one? Sabanyu. That's the more common word used for.
So the Anya is knowing or knowledge. So all knowing, Sapanyu.
So in the 28 Buddhas, there is this
Yeah.
Sabanyu know, it's
Yes.
all-knowing.
Yeah, that's it.
All knowing. And so here he's all seeing instead. So Bhavita, Bahulikata, these are past participles. In English, that's the form you recognize as developed. So from Bhavati to develop, you Bhavati, from Bhavati to develop, you turn it into its past participle Bhavita. And when, so basically, this is again a short sentence. Basically, it doesn't. It implies when developed and
Practiced much.
okay, and practiced much.
And it refers back to those seven. But
That's right. About the, so what is developed? It's the Bojjhaṅga. The Bojjhaṅga are Bhavita and Bahulikata. When these are developed and practiced, that's basically the end of a clause here, right?
Yeah.
Bhavita, Bahulikata.
Then
They are leading to Sangvattanti, leading to Abhiññāya. These are dative forms.
Abhiññā, direct knowledge.
And that's right, higher knowledge or direct knowledge.
Higher knowledge. Yeah, this is all dative.
So
For something or to something.
Well, here it's two rather than for, right?
Yeah.
Nibbānāya, Bodhya.
Enlightenment.
So those are dative.
Dative, that's right. So leading to higher knowledge, leading to Nibbāna, leading to awakening. Okay, and we close the verse with Etina Saccavajjena Sotite Hotu Sabbada. So these are Dhammaruwan. Do you recognize the forms here?
Etena is instrumental,
That's right.
Saccavajjena is instrumental, and Vajja, Sacca is truth,
Correct.
and Vajja, I don't know what is speaking, saying, the participle of Bhadati.
So through speaking, right? You could say by this true speaking, by the utterance of this truth is how they translate it in English, but
This one is the purple one. This an instrument.
Instrumental.
Which case is it?
It's by
It is
elemental, blue one.
blue, no?
3 or 5.
It's 3.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Number 3, third case instrumental,
They look
blue.
Similar blue.
But Vajja was not a kind of fault.
It's a different derivation from a different.
So Vajjina is from Bhadati,
We don't have to look it up later.
speaking.
Also, Vajja is fault also.
So instrumental is Vidis or by this, or
By
by this true speaking. Sotite Hotu Sabbada. What do you recognize the words?
Soti is a blessing, no?
That's right.
And Sabbata is everywhere. And Hotu is imperative singular.
That's right. Which
and Te is for you.
That's right. Good. So to you, no?
Yes, to
like
you.
Te Hotu. And Hot Soti may the
well-being.
The well-being be for you always or everywhere. now we come to the stories.
Mhm.
We'll be remembering the stories. Ekasaming samaye nato. These are, so nato is the guardian, literally, or the protector, where it refers to the Buddha, of course. So these are, what case are these? Samaye, ekasaming, right? Locative.
At one time.
So in, literally it says in one time.
Mhm.
Like it's in English you use the at preposition. Here it's in the locative, so at a certain time or at one time. Moggallānañca Kassapang. So we're addressing the two people.
Ekasame means at one time.
At one time, that's right.
Ekas means samaye.
Ekasaming samaye. So Moggallānañca Kassapa, so Moggallana and Kassapa.
But it's accusative, so something is happening to them.
That's right. So Disavano. So it will be Desa, you know.
So
He's teaching the.
So the
he's teaching
Nato,
them.
so it's the Nato, it means the Buddha, having seen Disva, the Moggallāna and Kassapa, so the Disva relates to those two, having seen those two, Moggallāna and Kassapa. And how did he see them? He saw them Gilane Dukite, so they were ill and in pain.
Accusative plural, no?
Mm.
So here, not to confuse the Samaye and, right? That's locative.
Yeah.
But Gilane is accusative.
For plural, those two, Moggallāna and Kassapa.
That's right. So the sick and suffering one, right? You could say the sick and suffering one having seen,
Right.
And so he taught Desai. Satta is the 7, referring to
7, yes.
right, the Bojjhaṅgas.
The 7 Bojjhaṅgas.
Bojjhaṅgas, the 7 he taught.
Exactly. Bojjhaṅga is plural again, so he is teaching them. So that's again accusative plural then.
So Bojjhaṅgas, the 7 he taught.
He taught, yes.
And who did he teach? These ones.
That's right. Or maybe that arrow actually should be pointing to the Bojjhaṅgas also, because he taught, although they are like the...
Desai I think takes 2.
Right, exactly. You teach something to somebody.
It's ditransitive, so you teach something to somebody.
Right, so it goes.
So that's right.
Okay.
So the Bojjhaṅgas to Kassapa and Moggallāna. Right, and Te Chatang Abhinanditava.
So Te is those, those. And now it refers to the two of them, the Moggallāna and Kassapa. Te Tang Abhinanditva, so having delighted Abhinanditva
in that
teaching, having delighted in that teaching.
So they are Abhinanditava.
Yeah, having delighted in that teaching, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
So Roga Muching Stankane.
So ablative, from the Roga, from the illness, they were freed. Muching Su, they were freed from illness. Roga,
from the
illness.
Disease or illness. That's right. So Muching Su is, we did in the exercise.
Yeah.
The plural past tense of Muchati.
To be free from.
And so Tankane is
in that moment. moment, kana.
Kana is moment, and tang is that.
That moment. That's it, instantly. Tang kana in that instant, in that moment.
That in that moment, and so that would be locative, no?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So they are muching, so they are in that moment, freed from the
Roga.
illnesses.
Here it's just illness.
Just the illness. Okay, making sense of this?
So which you release from, it's our free from, right?
Yeah, that's right. So muchi is just one, and muchingsu is two or more. Freed from muchingsu tankane. And this is the same refrain. Ekina sacha vajjina sotite hota sabpada. So instrumental by the speaking of this truth, by this truth speaking, may there be
well-being,
blessing and well-being for you.
Everywhere.
Always, everywhere. So sabada here is indeclinable. These don't get any cases. Ah?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, cool. Following along.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun to puzzle out these poetry verses, because when you're chanting it, then it becomes alive in your mind.
Yeah, exactly. I always reflect on this parittas when we chant it, so you know the meaning. So that's better.
So let's do the next one.
Ekada.
Let's somebody else read. Ajahn Kongrit, can I ask you to read the next verse?
Let me close my eye first. Ekada Dhammaraja Kelanyena Pipilito Juntaterena Tanye Va Panapetva Nasadarang.
So Ekada is one time, but literally one day. From Diva or Divasa is a day. And so its short form is just say Ekada, one day. So the king of Dhamma, the Dhammaraja, is here talking about the Buddha. P is also
It's from
Api, from Api. Dhammaraja Api, so the Buddha, one day, the Buddha also. And so here we did this phrase, this is from Gelanya. From Gelanya and Abhipilito.
oppressed.
So the Gelanya is in the instrumental, and that's why it becomes Gelanyena. Gelanyena.
But it's a short A, Gelanyena.
So Gelanyena plus Abhipilito.
That's right.
And so it becomes the longer Gelanyena Abhipilito. Right, so but this is, he is oppressed by the sickness. Abhipilito is oppressed or overwhelmed. Like what did I... affected or affected. So Chundatterena Tanyeva. So by again the Chundatera is in the instrumental, so he is by something, by Chunda. So by Chunda. And Tanyeva is Sandhi for Tang Eva.
By that Chundatera.
Where Tang is it, and Eva is, how would it here? It would be like or also.
Yeah, it's hard to translate literally.
Yeah, I think just, filler word basically to make the meter. By Chundatera, Bonapetavana. Here, this is from Bonapeti, having recited, having spoken. Bonapetavana. And Sadarang is
respectful.
That's right.
Considerate.
It's indeclinable adjective. No, adjective. No, correct, indeclinable. That's right. So he say that he respectfully having recited. Right, respectfully having recited. Sammoditava cha abada. So here there's what does he recite? We're referring in the meaning back to the Bojjhaṅgas, right? That's what he recites respectfully. And so then we're talking about the time when the Buddha is sick here, right? So Sammoditava refers to the Dhammaraja, the Buddha, so that he is having approved.
Yeah, having
delighted in, approved in this chanting recitation, and having approved, having delighted, abada tamha vutasitanaso. So these go together rather than how we break it in the chanting lines.
Yeah.
So vutasi is rose up, that's right.
Recovered from, you say.
But that's right, you would say recovered.
Yeah, in English, yeah. Vutasi.
The abada is the delighted, right?
Sammoditvaya, having delighted.
So abada, in the sutta we said tamha abada, right?
Yeah, so Sammoditvaya.
So he recovered
from that illness.
Yeah.
Tamha abada, but it's in the wrong kind of funny order.
I'm sorry, what's the abada?
The sickness.
Sickness.
Okay, sorry.
Sickness, and tamha is just
from that.
Tamha is really referring to the sickness, so that illness.
They are both ablative. Ablative meaning from. Tam becomes tamha, from that illness.
So nothing to do with craving here.
Right.
Not tamha, but just tamha. And tanaso is
on the spot.
On the spot, right there, like standing there, basically. Tanaso is right. It's indeclinable. These are qualifier words. From so the root is from.
Tana.
Ta, that's right.
Tana is Satipatthana.
Ta, ana, so.
You know it from the Upatthana, Satipatthana.
Yeah, that's right. So all things that are on the spot, standing. In that place, right there. This is what. That's right. English phrase, right? You say right there.
On the spot, right there.
right there
Mm,
on the spot.
okay.
And so etena sacha vajjena sotite hoti sabpada.
Same thing. Yeah.
And I didn't copy the last verse here, so I'll get it in a second.
Pahina teja ābāda.
Right, so last verse.
That's good.
Pahina teja ābāda.
So Pahina is abandoning.
That's right. They
That's illness. or sickness.
abandoned. So te is the people who are doing the abandoning. So all referring to all three cases here. Like they and they are abandoned. Like Pahina here is
Yes. Abandoned illnesses. Has to have the same ending, so
ābāda is
this is
tinnannam pi mahesinam of these. So tinnannam is just from ti. Is a complicated irregular form of ti.
I think you have a maybe extra N there. The tinnanam, I think there shouldn't be the double N. The second one should be single.
No, I think
Yeah?
that's correct here.
Tinna. Oh, because sometimes I think
It's
there are two
genitive.
forms. Sometimes it's tinnanam, and then I think there are two versions of how to spell it.
Yes, I think so.
Of the three Mahesi, the great beings, great seers. Tinnanam, Tinna.
Is it dative?
Genitive of the
Tinna.
of the sages. So T is a 3, and we are talking about
Tinnam. It could be tinnanam.
tinnam or
Tinnam. Okay, yes.
tinnannam,
Okay, tinnanam.
right? But it's a very irregular declension.
Yeah.
But it just 3 or of the 3 or to the 3, right?
Yes.
You know, it just means tinnannam, and it's genitive plural. So of these 3 sages,
Yeah.
Mahesinam.
That's it. Great sages.
Mahesi is from Maha-isi.
Is
Like seer, rishi in Sanskrit is a isi, a seer. So they are great seers, like Maha-isi. And then this complicated word here.
Yes.
Magga ahata kilesa.
Yeah.
So Magga ahata.
Oh, I wonder if it's ahata or hata. Hata can be killed.
Well, here it's
Could be
struck, beat, destroyed.
Yeah.
The hata is killed, like you say, but
Ahata can be also.
here it's like they destroyed the kilesas.
Something like that. Yeah.
And va here is for iva.
Like. like the defilements destroyed by the path.
That's correct. That's right. So poetry makes a comparison here. It's like they arose, they abandoned these illnesses, or that these sages abandoned these illnesses, like the path that destroyed kilesas.
Yeah.
Path. And patta anupatti dhammatang. So here this is, patta is the attained.
But I'm not sure about this translation that you provided. I think anupatti is also means attained.
Exactly. I think it's from anu,
Yeah.
not from a.
Yeah. I think it means the same. Patta anupatta means like both of them basically mean attained. Patta and anupatta. It's like strengthening the thing. Like
I think this was in the
Like
commentary.
Like Buddha no Buddha. Buddha no Buddha.
Yeah, exactly.
The Buddha and they follow the Buddha.
Because it doesn't make sense here, a non-arising or non-appearance. It doesn't seem to make.
It means it's connected with the state, so the non-arising state. It's the anupatti dhammata. Like that's how the
Okay.
that's how I found the explanation. But I agree that it's a complicated compound there. The Dhammatang is explained as the character or state.
Yeah, dhammata, nature.
Dhammata, and then anupatti. If it's a non-arising, then you could say non-arising state, and that's this verse is composed probably in Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And this non-arising state, this anupatti, is a very commentarial term.
Yeah.
So that's why I was gravitating towards giving that credit, is that they use this term for nibbana for the unarising state.
No, I think
and so they would compose the verse to refer to that.
Maybe. Yeah, sometimes it's very tricky how to break it up. It can mean one thing, can be positive meaning, can be negative meaning.
Yeah, so that's the best I can do, I think. So they have attained the non-arising state, referring to nibbana, of course.
Something like that.
No?
Yeah, this is a late verse. This is not from the sutta itself. So the chant that we do, actually, the paritta chanting, they are much later composition based on the sutta.
Yeah, so this probably composed in Sri Lanka, quite likely.
Could be, I don't know. But no, probably not, because in Sri Lanka, I think in Sri Lanka they chant the actual suttas, like this Dhammaruwan, whereas in Thailand, we chant the paritta only. I've never heard it by Sri Lankan monks chanted.
Okay. Composed in Thailand or Sri Lanka?
It could have been a later composition in Thailand, and sometimes there were some monks in like northern Thailand in Chiang Mai who composed their own chants that have become like quite popular. But exactly, the Pāli structure seems a bit kind of non-standard.
I think that's what we should do. We should do as well. We should compose some parittas.
Yes. I think so.
We should write some parittas of our own about the monks attaining great states. But an interesting reference I wanted to mention here is do you know this book? Have you seen this book before?
Yes.
This is about that's right. It's a Burmese book about the Bojjhaṅgas. It has a few stories about how the Bojjhaṅgas are used to cure illnesses and cure bodily pains and so on.
Yeah, from Burma.
And he makes this interesting comparison here.
And does he quote the paritta or just the suttas? I wonder, the Burmese version. I also think probably is only. I think the Burmese also don't know the paritta like we do it. Might be a Thai composition.
He goes through the factors. He goes through the factors. But what I liked in the introduction, the preface here, he talks about, he refers to, you know, why do we chant the Bojjhaṅgas as a cure for medicine? Right? You know, how does that supposed to work?
Yeah.
And in the sutta, if you remember, what happens is that somebody comes to chant the Bojjhaṅgas, and the medicine effect is this energy that wells up in the mind, right? Because it's that effect of removing the conditions that are born of the mind, right? That's where it's effective. And so he in the book he refers to this classification from the Visuddhimagga, where they break down that your body, you experience 4 kinds of form, like rupa. Rupa breaks it down to 4 kinds of forms. Some form that are born of like past causes, karma, like past causes, born of mental processes, chittaja, chitta. Then utuja, I'm not sure of this temperature idea.
It means like
maybe
climate. It means anything to do with the environment.
Yeah, environment, temperature, your bodily condition. And then aharaja, bad food or bad nutrition. But he's highlighting that chittaja is very influential. Is that most of what you experience is conditioned by your mental processes, your thinking, and how you're relating to things, and how your attitude is towards things. And this is where the Bojjhaṅgas are effective.
Right, that's it. That's that Sutta Chittena Niyati Loko. The world is directed by the mind.
That's right. Is that, and so those are canonical references there. This fourfold categorization, that's Visuddhimagga.
It's Abhidhamma.
Abhidhamma and Visuddhimagga as well. Right, but the reference to the mind, the world that you experience, like the loka is always the world of the senses. The world that you experience is led around by the chitta, chittena niyati.
Yeah, that's it. So some people say this chanting only works if you if the person listening to it understands the meaning and will delight in it.
You should be recollecting the factors, that you go through the factors and you recognize, these are pretty cool, these are quite nice. That's the energizing effect.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we were able to get through it.
Yeah. Anybody